What is going on, YouTubeverse? It's your boy, The Beagle, aka Mr. Rassle Rant, coming at you with another predictions video. This time for the decent at best, mediocre pay-per-view known as SummerSlam. At least this year is going to be pretty bad, for the most part. Mostly because of the main event and a few because of the builds. So, as you can see right now, I'm flying solo. I couldn't get a hold of my cousin or anybody else to do these predictions with me. And unless I can get a hold of them in the next few hours, I will be flying solo in the predictions. So, as of right now, no punishment will be put on the line for this predictions for this pay-per-view. But I will let you guys know that come either this pay-per-view or the next one, whenever we actually are together again to do our predictions, uh, the stipulation for the prediction winners and losers will be a little different. It's a double punishment. No longer a solo punishment, at least for this one. It's a double punishment. Whereas whoever wins and whoever loses will both get to punish each other. Where, let's say I would get 5 right, and let's say I was doing it with my cousin and he got 4 right. I get to chop him in the chest, a knife edge chop, 5 times. And then he would get to chop me 4 times. So you get to chop the other person equal to the number of matches you got correct. We might have little bonuses, like if we say, oh, this person might run in, this may happen. If we call, special little perks correct, we will add an extra chop for that. To give a little more incentive to be a little more creative with your picks and to think a lot harder about your picks. So not only will we be fighting for our soon-to-be unveiled predictions title, which we spent tens of minutes designing, but we will be fighting for the right to chop the other person as many times as the card will allow. So without further ado, let me jump right on in. I apologize if I get the order wrong. I just wrote down the matches that I've seen. If I miss one, I have done that before. But if I miss one, it doesn't count. So first up, I got the B Team versus the Revival for the Raw Tag Team titles. I don't see the Revival quite winning just yet. Give it another month, maybe 2. Maybe even be like a Raw, maybe a Raw after SummerSlam or the Raw after the next pay-per-view. I can't remember which one it is, but so right now I have the B Team going over. It'll be probably something sly where the Revival, I believe their finish was called the Shatter Machine. I do believe. I could be wrong. If I am, please let me know. But they will hit that, and like we've seen before, whoever gets hit by it, Revival, I'll say Dawson will go for the pin on Bo Dallas. And then Curtis will run in and push him or flip it over or do something. It'll be some kind of winky finish where it will not be a complete clean victory. The next one I have is Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulak for the Cruiserweight Championship. I really don't watch 205 Live. I know it's getting really good, and I really do need to start watching it. So this is kind of a coin flip for me. A lot of people I've watched are really, really high on Drew Gulak right now. So I feel that he will be winning. I forgot something, but I didn't. So, I can't go into detail about this match because all I do know about Cedric Alexander, his finisher, that, flip into a backbreaker, I cannot remember for the life of me what it's called right now. That is a badass looking finisher. So, again, coin flip, 50-50 shot, I'm going Drew Gulak. The next one I have is Rusev and Lana versus Andrade Cien Almas and Selena Vega. Now, we all know that the story leading up is that every time either Rusev or Lana's in a match, Aiden English comes out and he does his best job to try to ensure one of their two wins, but he's really been screwing up even that lame one he was last week or the week before where he barely pushed I can't remember who it was in the apron and it knocked Lana off the top rope. allowing Vega to get the pin. I wish they'd just break them up. The first few times was fine. Just don't keep it going. Let Aiden English go his way, and then you can do like a Rusev and put has Lana back as his manager, and move on. As far as I'm concerned, I have Almas and Vega winning this match. Again, Aiden English will cost one of them this match. It's the story that's been going on, and the WWE work on the assumption that if it ain't broke, keep trying to fix it until it breaks. For example, see Roman Reigns. The next match is one that we haven't got another build on other than I'm tall, you're short, I should be better than you. We should constantly fight, and that is Finn Balor versus Constable Baron Corbin. As much as I don't like this storyline because there's really nothing to get invested in, and I really don't really care who comes out on top. I mean, I think Finn needs to win, and no pun with the rhyme either. But I think Baron will win. I think they'll finish up in the next pay-per-view. SummerSlam may not be the end for them. So if they do, I would like to see Finn bring back the Demon Balor character and finally be the one, to beat. He can come out and Raw say, "No, you beat me. Yeah, you think you're better than me. Well, I know a demon you can't beat." And that could set up the feud. That actually sets up Baron can beat Finn, but can he beat this, alter ego of Finn Balor? That could be more interesting other than just you're short, I'm tall, let's fight. The Bludgeon Brothers versus the New Day for the SmackDown tag team titles. I will say I don't like either team. I don't like, in the beginning, seeing a tag team come out and totally just demolish everybody they face, and which they have since they've made their return as the Bludgeon Brothers. It could be fun, but eventually, you want to see matches that will last a little more. And the New Day, I don't get them. I know the fans are really, really over for them right now. And they love the whole pancake thing and the Bootios thing. And I don't find it funny. I don't find it entertaining. I really don't like it. I was really hoping they would do, like they were talked about when they first formed, a kind of, what was it? Nation of Domination type of tag team. So, again, once they turn them, I don't really like comedy. I don't like comedy in wrestling unless it's really good. Edge and Christian were really good. Santino had his moments, but more often than not, I didn't find him funny at all. So, make them more serious. They can still joke around and stuff, but make them more serious. On that note, the Bludgeon Brothers haven't done really anything for those titles or for themselves since winning them. Oh, excuse me, I got the hiccups. So, I think the New Day will pick them up and be your new SmackDown Tag Team champions. I want to say title, I don't want to say champions. I don't know why. Sorry, I'm running on very little sleep. Just got off of work, so please forgive me. The next one I have is Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy in a rematch for the United States title. Jeff Hardy has been having his hands full with Randy Orton and Shinsuke, basically taking him to Nutville. Every time that poor guy's getting hit in the nuts, every time he turns around. We had that sick, disgusting beat down by Randy Orton where he stuck his finger, like his piercing and start ripping at it and stuff. Dude, I almost threw up watching that. Randy's vowed to be, get worse in his beatings, and I really don't see how, but if anybody can do it, Randy Orton proved that. I really think they could go back to the punt kick. They could do the punt kick safely to where it doesn't really hurt them. It's a good way to write off wrestlers for a while when he's written off. And let's face it, right now, both Raw and SmackDown are getting overcrowded, and we're gonna have a plethora of call-ups coming up from NXT. We got a ton of them ready, and I really hope Velveteen Dream, when he does come up, and when Aleister Black comes up, when he's finally come back from injury, I really hope that they treat these guys right and treat them as good as Triple H has in NXT. These guys that are coming up, are flailing because Triple H has one way of doing it, and Vince has, dead set in his ways. And he does what he thinks he should do. What Triple H does what's best for not only the character, but the company and the TV show and their pay-per-views. Which, by the way, in my opinion, NXT takeovers can beat any of the WWE main roster pay-per-views hands down any day of the week. Doesn't matter what you put up against them. But I got off track here with the Jeff Hardy Shinsuke match. Shinsuke's going to win. It's going to be either due to Randy Orton interfering, a nut shot, again, same old, same day, different story. Pretty much. I'm sorry, same story, different day. Flip that. Again, half these matches I don't see being clean. Shinsuke will win, not clean. The New Day probably won't win. They'll probably use their numbers advantage to win. So Baron will probably do something to not clean to win. Almas in Vegas. So far, these are all. I haven't seen any clean victory. Will win with some shenanigans, and the B team will win. I mean, they'll technically win clean because it'll be, they're not really cheating or anything. I just think it's going to be some hookiness, if you will. I don't even know what that word means, but it sounded right. Next match we have is Dolph Ziggler with Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins with a returning, jacked and chiseled Dean Ambrose. This dude is jacked and stacked from the floor to the ceiling. He has a major overhaul in his look from injury to return, which I know has been the case with a few other wrestlers, but I mean, my God. Everybody keep calling him a little Triple H, and he looks like it looks like he's a monster. And I really don't like his return. I mean, it was anticlimactic, and we all seen it coming from a mile away. And if you didn't, you either weren't paying attention to the show, or you were blind. Sorry about that. Computer moved. I have Dolph Ziggler winning this match. I really would like to see Dean screw Seth Rollins somehow, and not. I know WWE never go full on CZW, John Moxley with Dean Ambrose, but if you haven't seen any of those matches, please check those out. They are some bloody backyard wrestling matches. I don't see how that man ever made it to any other wrestling promotion. I'm surprised he wasn't forced to retire with some of those matches that he had. So I'd like to see him, they call him the lunatic fringe. Just add a little craziness. At most, he was goofy and he played jokes. He's like the Riot Squad trying to, whatever they're trying to do. That's what that reminds me of. But Dean would need to turn heel and uses a catalyst as I guess if he uses the whole you screwed me and you screwed Roman, but turn your back on us, it kind of makes him the sympathetic baby face, and I'd rather see him as a heel. Because we really haven't seen a Dean Ambrose heel. I think he could really take it to like the old, like Legend Killer Randy Orton when he was beating up all the legends. I really think he'd take it to that level of heat. I think he's one of the few wrestlers that can get cheered like crazy, and in 2 minutes later, he can have you booing him out of the building. So, hey, I hope I'm right. I could be wrong. That's why they're called predictions and they're not called fortune telling. But again, Seth will lose. He'll move on. I hope we'll program with Dean Ambrose, but either way, I can almost guarantee he's going to lose. Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. This is one of the most talked about and technically story rivalry we've had in a long time. This is one of the best built rivalries because, let's face it, for 2 years, Daniel Bryan could do nothing but be a GM and talk. So they had a long time to build this up. Do I think this is going to be the one and done? Hell no. Not by any stretch of the imagination. I think this is only the beginning. May culminate at Mania. I think that would be the place where you could have The Miz constantly doing, shenanigans or just out and out cheating and getting the best of the Miz or Bryan until WrestleMania, and that's kind of recreating a few years ago when Daniel Bryan became the I think it was called the WWE World Heavyweight Champion at that time, shortly before he had to retire and give the belts up. Recreating that magic, I think it would be very good. It would be very easy. Recreating the Yes Movement, we all seen how popular it was, and still is to this day. So I think the Miz is going to go over here. As a character, I really don't like the Miz. So I mean, I don't want to see him win, but long term, that's what the WWE needs to learn: the value of long term builds. So the next one is Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens. This is the one that, out of every match, except for maybe one or two, that I'm most looking forward to. This is going to be to borrow a quote, cliche wrestling quotes. This could be a real barn burner. I mean, this could almost go on last if I didn't think that whoever wins going to cash in the Universal title match. So let's face it, that's going to be that right there is your main event. So that's what I'm guessing. Going guess last. I think Kevin Owens, dude. Braun does not need that Money in the Bank briefcase. That dude is so over. I think he could. I don't know what he could do. There's nothing really he could do to get anybody to boo him. He is so damn entertaining. The dude is a blast to watch in the ring. He's funny on the mic. I don't really like this build. It all started with what few people have mentioned, and that is that a few weeks back, or maybe even a month back, or however long it was, Braun Strowman said he wanted to be Kevin Owens' friend, and they had a tag match, and they won. Kevin tried to celebrate, and I think it was like a ploy, just so Braun could beat up Kevin Owens again. And then it's been Braun basically being a dick to Kevin Owens at every turn. I think, it gets Kevin Owens a little measurement of revenge on him. It gives him something to brag about. I took what you valued the most after taking months of your punishment. It continues. They can even continue the storyline for the title once Kevin Owens cashes in and wins the Universal title. It's a feud that I know doesn't need a lot of build, but because these two are so great, you can tell in the ring that they're great together. Overall, I think if I had to guess, at least a 4-star match, just because of the entertainment value. I'm no Dave Meltzer. I'm not going to give star ratings for these matches because that's not me. I just predict them, and I usually get them right. Next one, 2 out of 3s of the next competitors will have a great match. And the other one, she's not impressed me at all from debut to now. With her in-ring ability, her mic skills, anything. And her catchphrase is something that is atrocious in my opinion. It's Carmella. Mella is money. I don't like that kind of catchphrase. I think it's redonkulous in my opinion. Versus Becky Lynch, who was very deserving of her spot in this title match. And who is way over with the crowd. And a Charlotte Flair, who with very minimal put behind her could be the number one women's heel in that division and play it to perfection. Believe me, if you haven't, go back and watch some of the stuff when she first arrived and with Rick in her corner, it was great. Her turn on Rick, it was kind of a gut punch. Me being a father, it was more of a gut punch. I hope my kid, storyline, whatever, doesn't ever say anything like that to me because that would just tear my heart out. I think, again, Becky deserves this. Becky's worked her ass off. She's over with the crowd. She's been doing damn good in the ring. I think it's her time. I'm going with Becky Lynch, 100% for the victory. And I believe she will be your next SmackDown Women's Champion. Next one, going to be one-sided. Even with a small sample size, I've been praising Ronda Rousey and her ability in the ring. Granted, her last match against Alicia Fox. Granted, not the greatest opponent to put against a noob because I don't think Alicia's that great in the ring. But that armbar she put on to win that match was atrocious. You could tell she didn't even basically have a hold of the arm. It was a chink in the armor that was Ronda Rousey, and it showed a little bit of why she is not wild overhyped, but she is indeed a rookie. I don't understand why that insult thrown by Alexa Bliss was really hurtful to Ronda because she might be overhyped just because the transition from MMA to wrestling, not a lot of people can do it. Vice versa, we see with CM Punk. Not a lot of people can go from wrestling to MMA and actually make a career out of it. Now, the two standouts are that recently, I know there's been more, but recently were Brock and Mr. I'm gonna call him dull personality himself because Bobby Lashley just doesn't have a personality in my book. He's not entertaining. I'm not gonna talk about him. I don't think he's even on the pay per view. I don't have him down. So, uh, talking about Ronda Rousey, I think she's gonna finally capture the title. She needs to win. The only win she has is against uh Triple H and Stephanie at last year's WrestleMania. So, or this past WrestleMania, she hasn't had really any good victories. She almost had the women's title last time when Alexa cashed in, and then she had the whole suspension thing. Whatever, she need to be rid off TV for a while. I understand. So Ronda pins Alexa in one of the complete few, 100% clean victories of the night. Now it's time to talk about the match that I'm most looking forward to, simply because of their history. The phenomenal one, AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. If any of you guys watching this are wrestling fans, you guys know that from TNA through Ring of Honor, wherever they have been, they've always fought to be the best, and they had a huge on again, off again rivalry. Sometimes they were they were tagged together. Sometimes they were friends. Most of the time they were enemies in TNA. AJ was a great champion for TNA. He's a great champion for the WWE. Samoa Joe, his promo work. If I would have to, compare him to somebody, Jake the Snake Roberts. I haven't heard anybody make that comparison before. If you listen to a Samoa Joe promo, it is slow, it is intentional, and it is sometimes frightening, insanely frightening. Now, two words I talk about this channel a lot: believability and conviction. And when that whole build between Samoa Joe and Brock, when Brock backed up Paul Heyman in the corner and Lotus on the mic, now I'm going to choke you out, and you can take that back to Brock Lesnar. I'm paraphrasing on the whole quote, but I do remember him telling me he's going to choke him out. The legitimate chill that you could see run down Paul Heyman's spine was running down the spines of a lot of wrestling fans because it was delivered perfectly. He says his every line, regardless if it's his own or if it's written, he says it with absolute conviction. He means every word of it. And that's what makes Samoa Joe believable. When it was teenager, he was known as the Samoan submission machine, which my God, I loved him. I loved almost every one of his matches. He had so many good matches that I watched personally in TNA. He was one of my favorites when I actually was real hot and heavy in watching TNA. Uh, him and AJ, man, I really think match of the night, hands down match of the night, and maybe one of the few times in recent memory that they may put on a critically acclaimed 5-star match, which we all know that the rosters on both Raw and SmackDown have an almost impossible time reaching that. Some people feel that Mr. Almighty himself, Dave Meltzer, is shunning the WWE for some reason. I mean, he gives NXT matches 5 stars, consistently. But the main Raw and SmackDown, I I don't know. I don't know the last 5-star match they had. If you let me know, it could be recently. I don't know. I don't put much stock in individual ratings. Why I don't rate them. Only people who can rate their own matches and people in them. They know everything about it, and I don't like rating match. Say this match is better than the other. I could say, hey, this person, I like this match. This person did, better than I like this match they did, and I could give a couple of reasons, but I don't want to say no. That's like the best of their career. Well, I haven't seen every single match in their career, so I wouldn't know. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. AJ holds on. I think he's going to hold that belt to Mania. I would love, if I had to throw a third person into that, who would I throw? Who could be a good? The Miz. I don't like him, but the dude does know how to work, and he could be a damn good heel along with Samoa Joe. AJ, battling him out against two vicious heels, and then that's how the Miz could win the title and take it. Okay, yeah, I think maybe in between now and whatever pay-per-view is after the Rumble. Again, they switch them. We don't know. It could change 500 times between now and then. So I'm not going to quote any projected pay-per-view names. We all seen what happened with the women's battle royal they named and had to rename. Anyway, in between that time span, AJ will lose the title. I would like to see the Miz win it. I would like to see a program built. See the Miz just go off on Bryan about, hey, he's the best. He always said he was the best, and Bryan can never beat him. And then Bryan finally beating him, making him tap out in the middle of the ring for the championship. Would be amazing. So I jump back to the Miz, but throw the Miz and Samoa Joe and the AJ Styles, have them feud for the next few months. I mean, they don't have to talk about their past. Them two, they know each other so well they could go out there and tear the house down. They could do a lot better if they weren't. They're doing their own promos instead of having someone write them for them. Other than AJ's a horrible father because he's out here wrestling every day and not hardly being home. That's basically the build of the story. So I could keep talking about this all day for two reasons. One, I am a massive AJ Styles fan. I'm a massive Samoa Joe fan. Two, I don't want to talk about this last match. We've talked about it so many damn times. I'm tired of it. When is this going to end? In fact, I'm changing my prediction right now. I have them written down. Let's see. I'm going to say Brock Lesnar's going to win with KO cashing in and winning the title. Yes, that's what I think is going to happen. Kevin Owens earlier tonight will, in my opinion, I believe he's going to have somehow either hook or crook or actually beating Braun, which I think that's probably not going to happen, pinning-wise, or making him tap. I think he's going to be some type of disqualification on Braun's part. He'll get the briefcase, and he'll either cash it in and make it a triple threat match from the get-go, or he'll wait until Roman finally has, Brock Lesnar almost beat. Oh, he's about to do it. It's about time. He finally, no, he's cashing it. No, he flipped it. He lost it. Anyway. Heel or face, Kevin Owens, if his music hits at any part before, during, or after that match, you are going to hear an explosion of cheers. I guarantee it. I'm going to say there's going to be at least 10 different chants to that match, depending on how short it is. And it may start from the time they start walking up to the ring. Either way, I say it's not going over 5 minutes, regardless of what happens. It's not hitting 5 minutes. Lesnar's head might explode if it goes over that long. He turns red just walking into the ring. But I got him once again. I'm going to say Roman loses. That's all I can say. I mean, Roman is going to lose. The experiment is an utter failure. It's been a failure for the last several months. This is like his 5th match. This should not be the main event. But Vince has such a big ass fucking hard on for Lesnar and Reigns that it didn't matter if it was for no title at all. It'd be your main event. So, Suplex City, Superman Punch. Suplex City, Superman Punch. Superman Punch, Spear, Suplex City, Suplex City, Suplex City, F5, over. Less than 5 minutes. But, I'm telling you now, if Reigns wins, or Brock wins, and no one cashes in, not only will you might have a riot on your hands in that arena, but you guys are going to absolutely love Rassle Rant episode 3. I promise you. I guarantee I will rip the WWE, even regardless if anybody watches this or not, a new asshole. Because Vince, in my opinion, right now, with the quality of the title scene, the quality of the main event scene, the quality of the shows and pay-per-views, he's burying his own company. He's reliving his wanting to kill the WWE. That's why every day I wake up and hope I hear by the day's end that he's gotten so wrapped up in the XFL that he hands Triple H Raw and SmackDown. So we finally can get consistent entertainment. And that's all I gotta say for that one. This has been a long enough video. It's gonna be a long ass time uploading. So I may live stream. I might not be able to. I still haven't figured that out. So check back with me tomorrow to see if we're live streaming. If we're not, I will at least do a video after the pay-per-view is over talking some shit. Until then, this is the Beagle saying, I will see you later.